Hello everyone, I am Dr. Japji Uppal, Senior Lecturer, Department of Prosthodontics, Surendra Dental College and Research Institute. As we were already discussing about the implant supported prosthesis, now we have discussed about the 3 clinical visits of the patient and its laboratory steps. Moving to the 4th clinical visit, in this, denture try-in is done. Attach the trial denture to place using guide pins, then evaluate the aesthetics, jaw relations, tooth position and vertical dimension. Once approved, disinfect and transfer the wax up into the lab in the mastercast. Then laboratory phase. In this, the fabrication of index is done. Index is one that records the buccal and occlusal aspects of the trial denture and permits repositioning by engaging notches scored at the border of the cast. Then index can be made using silicon putty, dental stone, light polymerized acrylic resin and vacuum formed thermoplastic materials. In this picture, you can appreciate the indexing made from the silicon putty material. Now the fabrication of the cast superstructure is done. Wax pattern is fabricated. The framework design depends upon the alloy used and the number and length of the fixtures used. These factors especially influence the cantilever portion design. The maximum the cantilever extension is maximum we can give it for 20 mm and for the mandible, and for maxilla maximum extension can be given till 10 mm. The gingival surface tissue side of the acrylic substructure is covered with a thin layer of wax to make it smooth. The wax pattern must be at least 2 mm below the abutment fitting cylinders, and the gingival surface must be convex and out of the contact to allow proper hygiene maintenance. Now before proceeding to the next step, reposition the index tooth assembly to check the clearance between the wax pattern and the denture teeth, as you can appreciate in this picture. Now investing is done. The selection of the investment material depends on the alloy which we have selected. Exact powder to liquid ratio and strict laboratory protocol must be followed to achieve well-fitting framework. Then the casting is done. After this investing, cover the gold screws with the wax and then the sandblasting is done. Before trimming and polishing, place protective caps with the guide pins to protect gold cylinders. Now the Procera method of framework fabrication. This is a new system of CAD/CAM technology which is developed to fabricate the framework for implant supported prosthesis that originates from a technique to make titanium crowns. This Procera machine framework is an all-in-one framework milled from a pure titanium block. This all-in-one framework has the following advantages. It is obviously highly biocompatible. It has low cost, precise fit when compared to the cast gold framework. Fabrication method. In the clinic, the dentist follows the same procedure. After the teeth arrangement and wax try-in the laboratory, the technician fabricates a resin pattern of the desired framework. Then the pattern is sent for computerized handling of the implant positions, abutment replicas and framework design. The CAD/CAM system mills the framework from the computer data. Now the sectioning and soldering of the cast superstructure is done. After the framework is fabricated, it must be tried on the cast to evaluate its fit. If there is any discrepancy, it must be sectioned and soldered. The cast metal framework before the final finishing and polishing is checked for its fit on the master cast. Now all the gold cylinders in the superstructure must fit passively. It should not fit actively. Then comes the 5th clinical visit. In this visit, the framework try-in is done. What we need to do is we'll remove the healing caps and we'll rinse the debris. Then we will check the fit of the abutment. We'll evaluate the fit of the cast superstructure. Then the framework. If we will section the framework if there is misfit. Then we'll correct the misfit by soldering or casting, and then the master cast is altered. Methods for evaluating implant framework fit. There are few methods like alternate finger pressure. In this, after manually seating the prosthesis with the finger pressure, we will apply the finger pressure alternatively on the terminal abutment. Then next is the direct vision and tactile sensation. Direct vision and tactile sensation with the explorer is used to evaluate the fit. Misfit in the subgingival margins is difficult to detect. Radiographs, we can evaluate it with the radiographs also. The periapical radiographs made perpendicular to the long axis of the implant abutment junction can help in evaluating the fit, especially in the subgingival margins. Due to anatomic limitations to position the film, overlapping can mask the misfit that is present. Next is the one screw test. This technique is effective in long span frameworks because if any vertical discrepancy is present, it is magnified at the opposite terminal abutment. So this test is very helpful. We can use this method frequently. In this method, one screw is tightened in one terminal abutment and opening in the other terminal abutment is observed. Next is the screw resistance test. Now the gold screws are tightened one by one, starting from the implant closest to the midline until initial resistance between the head of the screw and the framework is felt. Next comes the processing of the acrylic resin denture. In this, the fixed implant supported prosthesis can be processed using heat cure or chemical cure or light cure resin. Finished denture must have access holes to allow the gold screws to be screwed down through the gold cylinders into the abutment screws.